or more.
Alright, we're going to move on to aphorism 216. Love one's enemies? I think this has been learned well. It is done thousands of times today, in small ways and big ways. Indeed, at times, something higher and more sublime is done. We learn to despise when we love, and precisely when we love best. But all of this unconsciously, without noise, without pomp, with that modesty and concealed goodness which forbids the mouth's solemn words and virtue formulas. Morality as a pose offends our taste today. That, too, is progress. Just as it was progress when religion as a pose finally offended our fathers' taste, including hostility and Voltairean bitterness against religion, and everything that formerly belonged to the gestures of free thinkers. It is the music in our conscience, the dance in our spirit, with which the sound of all Puritan litanies, all moral homilies, and old-fashioned respectability won't go. Alright, I'm going to be completely honest and say I was totally lost there.
Okay. Can you say the first sentence one more time?
Sure. Love one's enemies.
Yeah, so that's, of course, the Christian, right? You love thy enemy as thyself, right? That's you're supposed to love your enemies. You're not supposed to like hate them or fight back against them.
Mm-hmm.
And this, Nietzsche, and he never likes this throughout his entire career, but he doesn't like it for different reasons at different times. But what he seems to be getting at here is the idea that it's, in some sense, natural to human psychology to not do that. To, if somebody, look, if Hitler comes and you're encountered with Hitler, are you supposed to love Hitler? Is that how we're supposed to do this? And Nietzsche's like, nah, of course not. It's only somebody who is tied to an unnatural and unhelpful morality that's going to be told to no, love Hitler. That seems to be a perversion of what is human. And so he thinks instead it's natural for us to despise our enemies. So Hitler would be an example. So he thinks naturally, just as a biological species, we are predisposed to despise people like Hitler. And given that, he's talking about the mental gymnastics that we have to do to believe something like love thy enemy.
Mm-hmm.
We have to develop a way to despise them without despising them, right? So he says, you can love somebody like your mother or something,
mm-hmm.
but really, you imagine you're a teenager, and of course you'd be like, yeah, I love my mother, etc., etc. But there's really lots of things about the way that she's doing to you, the way that she's holding you and not letting you go out on weekends and not letting you do what you want, which you then reciprocate with various petty acts of resistance in this particular way. But of course you'd say, oh, I love her. So you never think to yourself, oh, I'm not loving my mother. I really have this intense, despising of this person. But you sort of trick yourself into thinking, oh, I love her, despite the fact that you don't in this case.
Some sort of Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, more or less. And he thinks that that's just a direct result of the moral system asking you to do so, and you believing in that moral system. And so the punchline is going to be why would you do that to yourself?
Mm-hmm. Virginia, do you have anything to add? Virginia is shaking her head silently, so I guess we will now move on to aphorism 217.